So we're talking about sentences, and we want to know what is a sentence. Well, we know that we use sentences when we speak or when we write, and they help us to express ourselves in meaningful ways. Well, what is a sentence? Well, let's see what a sentence is not. I'm going to put some words here, and you tell me, is this a sentence? Roars loudly. Well, right where you're going, of course not. It can't be a sentence. And the question is, why can't this be a sentence? And the answer you might be saying right now is because we don't know who or what you're talking about. Who roars loudly? I don't know who roars loudly. Who are you talking about? Well, perhaps you can think for a second for me and say, how can we complete this sentence? Who or what roars loudly? Besides your brother or sister, think of an animal that you might like, a favorite animal that roars loudly. Well, some of you might have said dinosaurs or maybe even lions. My favorite actually is the lion. So the lion roars loudly. Now, is this thought completed? Now does it make sense? Yes, because now we know who or what we're talking about. The lion roars loudly. That's who we're talking about, the lion. And what are we saying about the lion? We're saying the lion roars loudly. Now we have a complete thought. Well, what was missing? We didn't know who we were talking about. Who roars loudly? We were missing a subject. Now we have our subject. We know who or what we're talking about. The subject of the sentence is who or what we're talking about. Well, what if we remove this part? Would we have a sentence? We would know who. We'd have the lion, but that's about it, right? Well, what is the lion doing? What are we saying about the lion? Very simply, we need another part of the sentence that tells us who, or not who or what we're talking about this time, but tells us what we're saying about the subject. What is the subject doing or being? And in this case, this part of the sentence tells us that we're saying the lion roars loudly. Roars loudly. This completes my sentence. So I have a subject in the beginning, but then I need to complete my thought. And so this part of the sentence completes it. Well, this part has a fancy name to it, and we will call it the predicate. Yes. Well, how does that spell? Because I want to make sure it's spelled correctly. The word predicate, we'll say P-R-E-D-I-C-A-T-E. Yes, that's an E. A little blocked in there, but forgive me. That's the predicate. And the predicate tells us about the subject, what the subject is doing or being. It completes the thought. So that's what our predicate does. It tells us about the subject. About the subject. That's my predicate. And so I need a who, a subject, a who or a what, and I need a predicate. So a sentence makes complete sense when I have a subject and a predicate, a part that tells us about the subject, and of course we need the subject too. So in this sentence, the lion is my subject. And what am I saying about the lion? He roars, or it roars loudly. That is my predicate. You see? So who or what I'm talking about? Subject. Then I have my predicate, roars loudly, that tells me about the subject. Now I have a sentence. Why? Because it's a complete thought. It makes complete sense. And why does it make complete sense? Well, because I have a subject and a predicate. That's why my sentence makes sense. It has a subject and a predicate. Remember, predicate is spelled P-R-E-D-I-C-A-T-E, and it tells us about the subject. So what is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. A sentence is a complete thought. It has a subject and a predicate. A sentence is a complete thought with a subject and a predicate. And that's how we know what we're talking about and what makes sense. Okay?